This episode is brought to you by Podbean, the easiest, most affordable option to get started in podcasting. Stay tuned to hear how you can get your first month of Podbean for free. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Committed Critics, a pop culture podcast where we're not only committed to our opinions, but also each other.
Aww.
I'm Kevin Lau.
I'm Zachary Wright.
And I'm Jordan Smearman. Yay!
Jordan's back.
Yay!
Woo! Yay!
And now, today, if you guys can tell from the title, we are going back to a topic that we talked about a few episodes ago, the Independent Spirit Awards.
Yes.
Ooh.
One of my favorite thumbnails to make. Photoshop myself onto Adam Driver.
Hey, Zach, you are now Adam Driver. Congratulations.
No one tell Maggie. It'll ruin it for her.
Oh no.
Never meet your heroes.
Well, the past dies. Kill it if you have to.
So today is the day that the Independent Spirit Awards come out. The day that this episode releases, not the day that we're recording.
You're breaking the illusion, Kevin. You're breaking the illusion.
Put the curtain back, please. But sir, I want to go to Oz. So I challenge you guys to watch as many of the Spirit Award nominees as you could. I watched as much as I could too. Obviously, we couldn't watch everything. Some of them were not readily available here in America. Some of them just like they don't have distributors at all. They only appeared in film festivals, and some of them, and also it's just the time constraints of balancing this podcast and real life.
That's true.
What free time do we have to watch movies?
You had a lot more free time than us, Kevin. You watched a lot more.
I made time for it.
You made time, whereas we just found the time. And I think we only watched, 5 in total?
I think so.
See, you watched the half of it.
Yes.
Palm Springs.
Yes.
Sound of Metal.
Yep.
Promising Young Woman. And Monterey's
Monterey.
Black Bottom.
Yes.
5. Woo!
Hey, that's not bad. It's better than 1.
That's true.
That's true.
Better than 4.
That is better than 4.
Well,
Yeah.
technically, I saw 5. Zach saw 4. So
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah. So we
Okay.
can't even
I'll
mention
call that.
spoilers for the half of it.
yeah.
Rude.
I've watched. I think I just counted it today. It was 17.
Oh my God.
I just watched First Cow this morning. I think I also started from 0. So it's been an interesting month.
So Kevin had 17 and we had 5. So we were like less than 33% of what Kevin watched.
It's fine. Minor details.
Minor details. You guys still win in the long run, I think. Maybe.
We'll see.
It's a competition. But so now we're gonna go through like a quick lightning round of our predictions for the categories that we have seen the nominees for.
Okay.
Unfortunately, we are skipping best international film and best documentary. We haven't seen either of those films.
Correct.
But if we have more time at the end, I will give honorable mentions to those categories as well and other nominees that we have missed.
Cool.
So
Cool.
Sounds good.
starting all right off the bat, best editing. We have The Invisible Man, Never, Rarely, Sometimes, Always, Residue, I Carry You With Me, and Nomadland.
Okay, so the only one I know off this list is The Invisible Man, and I'm really sad because I love editing, and I feel like I'm not earning my credit here by watching.
I know, right?
Yeah,
Like I
really.
watched The
You
Invisible
definitely
Man.
were.
It's like Zach's got to Zach's got to watch these, or at least focus on the best editing category. But I didn't see Residue or I Carry You With Me.
Okay.
I did see Invisible Man, Never, Rarely, Sometimes, Always, and Nomadland.
Cool.
Never, Rarely, Sometimes, Always has the editing is good, and it like it's it does have like the emotional momentum with the editing, but it also the movie really drags on.
Oh no, pacing issues.
Yeah, there's some. I mean, like I get it, but also it's like there are some pacing issues. There's a lot of scenes that felt like it didn't really do much of anything.
Okay.
So I mean, it's not so much of an editing issue, but more of like a storytelling issue.
Okay.
I mean, otherwise the editing did not like shock me. It was like, oh wow, this was bad, or like wow, this was great. But it is hard to judge editing in a film in a film like that. And Nomadland, the editing is also great as well. It has like the nice floaty dreamlike feeling, in which I could talk about later in the next category. But my prediction goes to The Invisible Man. There was a scene in The Invisible Man set in a restaurant that has such fantastic editing to it. and it's so emotionally charged. And I think it's the best contender for best editing in this
Interesting.
out of
Okay.
all the group here.
Okay.
Yeah, didn't the Invisible Man come out back in before COVID?
Yeah, it was
Okay.
like the February in 2020.
Right. Okay. Cool.
Ooh.
I remember it came out and it was like not like the actual like original Invisible Man story, but it was a nice take on it. So yeah, I'm really sad I didn't get around to watching that one. So
Yeah,
but-
I highly recommend. It's on HBO Max still right now.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so I do think you guys will like it.
Cool.
It's it's a nice little like thriller. Yeah.
Cool. All right, moving on.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil it. It's just
Yeah, you're
great.
fine. Next category, go, Kevin.
I do wish I saw it in theaters though. Best cinematography is next. We have She Dies Tomorrow, Bull, The Assistant, Never, Rarely, Sometimes, Always, and Nomadland. I did not see Bull, but I saw everything else. I don't think. Yeah, you guys didn't see anything from here.
Nope.
Nope.
Didn't see any on this list.
It's fine. It's fine. So I think my vote goes to Nomadland.
Okay.
It has the cinematography, even though it's not wallpaper worthy. It's still like very, well, some of it actually is very wallpaper worthy, but
Okay.
it's also like there's a lot of like very subtle camera movement
Yeah.
that really adds to the emotion of the scene. It has like a nice floaty feeling to make you feel like part of it. Like, I made a joke in my review. It's like, it really makes you feel like a nomad, but like it kind of does in the
Cool.
way
Okay.
like floating from like place to place, location to location. And then like, still having that emotional momentum with the camera movement, like knowing who to focus on and why,
Yeah.
and really getting you into the moment. I think it's the best contender for best cinematography. The Assistant has really great visuals,
Okay.
but all it really is it's just visually pleasing. It's
Cool.
not, yeah. There's a lot of it's just really beautiful to look at, but it doesn't really do much of anything. Never, Rarely, Sometimes, Always. It's more akin to Nomadland, where it like has that emotional momentum to it, and it is visually great as well, but it just doesn't reach the same heights as Nomadland.
Okay.
And She Dies Tomorrow is a nice little indie film with surprisingly great cinematography. And I think it's a good contender as well. But once again, Nomadland I think is the best contender here for cinematography.
Okay.
I also want to give a shout out to The Invisible Man for the same reason as Nomadland, where it's like it's not wallpaper worthy, but a lot of the camera movement is really fantastic and adds to the atmosphere and character as well. So I think it was snubbed for a nomination here.
Oh.
Drama.
Yeah.
So
no,
now we have-
we really can't judge these on our end because like we didn't see any of them. So I mean, like we
I
trust your
know.
word, cinematography and editing wise. So yeah.
Yeah.
We trust
now
you,
you're-
Kevin.
Now we're getting to where you've seen at least one of these.
Yes.
The best first feature. We have the 40-year-old version, I Carry You With Me, Miss Juneteenth, 9 Days, and Sound of Metal. I've seen the 40-year-old version, Miss Juneteenth, and Sound of Metal.
Okay.
I Carry You With Me and 9 Days aren't available to watch anywhere, and 9 Days actually sounds really interesting.
Okay.
It has Zazie Beetz and Benedict Wong in it.
Oh, cool.
It's about a guy who has five souls that he needs to judge. He's interviewing to judge whether or not they are worthy of going to Earth. So it's kind of like Soul a little bit.
Okay. Cool.
But it sounds really cool. I heard a lot of good things about it. But
So what is the category best first feature, Kevin?
Yeah, I was just about to ask that.
yeah. So this is like the first feature like these filmmakers have made. Like
Okay.
they have no
Oh, okay.
other movies under their belt or their filmography. So Sound of Metal is the director/writer's first movie that they've ever made.
Okay.
Same with Miss Juneteenth and 40-year-old version. So, and I think Sound of Metal, for being the first movie that they've made,
Mhm.
is really astonishing.
Yeah, for that being it's that filmmaker's first movie, there's a lot going on there. And I'm
Mhm.
impressed actually.
It is available to watch on Amazon Prime. If you haven't seen it, highly recommend it. I know you guys didn't really care for it too much, which
We'll
is
talk about that later
understandable.
in the back half.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Where Zach just dumps on for Sound of Metal.
Cracks knuckles. Here we go.
Here we go.
Those damn
Alright.
film nerds.
They made me watch this movie. So yeah, and Sound of Metal is actually also a contender in the Oscars as well. It's making a big splash there, and
Okay.
it is getting a Criterion released.
Ooh, okay, that's nice. That's cool.
Yeah. So next category, best first screenplay.
Wait, Kevin, did you say
Uh,
you picked Sound of Metal for best first feature?
Yeah,
Okay,
Sound of
cool.
Metal
Okay.
wins. Like it's just oof, it's amazing. Best first screenplay: The Assistant, Lapsus, Miss Juneteenth, Palm Springs, Straight Up. We already talked this in our other episode, but Palm Springs screenplay, amazing. I still
Chef's
think the best
kiss.
contender in this.
Yes.
Yes, I agree. Palm Springs screenplay for that being the first screenplay from who wrote it exactly?
Good question.
Was it one of the guys from Lonely Island or no?
It was one of the guys from Lonely Islands. He
Okay.
just didn't write. I think this is the first one time he wrote for them.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
Andy Sierra.
Oh, okay, yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, no.
But yeah, no.
Palm Springs is
uh,
definitely impressive and a good first screenplay for anyone.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. It's amazing. It's like something like I look at my screenplay, it's like, man, why isn't it as good as this? It's called practice. That's what I
It's
need.
called Practice Makes Perfect. So you put on here
Exactly.
Palm Springs gets the best first screenplay, your prediction.
Yeah,
correct?
I've seen Miss Juneteenth. I've seen The Assistant. The Assistant is a good movie, but I feel like it kind of lacks in the screenplay department. I was
Yeah.
kind of surprised it was nominated.
Okay.
Miss Juneteenth is also is a solid indie film, and it's a solid screenplay too. But it has a lot of like pacing issues.
Yeah.
Haven't seen Lapsus and Straight Up. They are not available to stream anywhere,
Okay.
unfortunately. But so Palm Springs was the most readily available, and out of the three I saw, it was the best.
Cool.
Okay.
Next category.
Next category is just best screenplay in general. We have Minari, Promising Young Woman, Never Really, Sometimes Always, Bad Education, and The Half of It. So I know you
Ooh.
guys have seen. Well, Jordan's seen two of them. Zach's seen one
Yes.
of them.
I've seen one of them.
So Jordan, what are your thoughts on the two that you've seen?
Okay, so it's been a couple months since I've seen the half of it, so I remember the general basis of it, but I do really like Promising Young Woman. I really enjoyed Promising Young Woman. I only had like 2 qualms with it, but I'm sure we'll probably talk about that a little bit later. But I don't know, like I would say I liked Promising Young Woman a little bit better than the half of it screenplay wise. I guess my only critique with it is that the story was a little slow in the beginning, and I
Yeah.
wasn't entirely sure where it was going with that. But overall, I thought like I definitely think both of these should. I'm glad they got nominated for this category for sure.
I really had no idea where Promising Young Woman was going, but that's
Yeah, neither did
that's a
I.
topic for later.
I did. I knew where it was going.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
glad I didn't tell Jordan at all.
Yeah, no, I was very surprised.
Yeah, no, okay. So we'll talk about that later. So I did see all of these.
Ooh,
So Minari wins the best screenplay for me. I think it is the most. It is a film. It's a film about an Asian American family
Okay.
trying to achieve the American dream,
Mhm.
and it's set in the 80s, and it's just really not only is it like well paced, and I think have like great characters as well, and as well as like an interesting plot to go with it. It also is about inclusivity as well.
Cool.
It's not like inclusivity is like the main thing. Is like, Asians can be Americans too. It's like, no, this is an Asian American family
Mhm.
trying to achieve the American dream.
Cool.
Like this is, it's not like race isn't the main topic of the story. It is just these people trying to exist. Obviously, there's some racial subtext to it that that doesn't go ignored. But it is just a fantastic family story as well. I highly recommend it. I will say that it is kind of slow. I had my sister watch it with me, and she kind of got bored through with it. But she still liked it.
And Kevin looked over and she just passed out.
She liked the farewell though, so
Oh, cool.
I think it's definitely more of a pacing issue.
Mhm.
Stephen Ewan is in it, who voices Mark in Invincible.
I love Steven Yeun so much.
Yay!
What a guy! And surprisingly, he's not the best performance in the movie.
Oh, wow.
Dang.
Damn.
Very surprising. But yeah, Minari wins my vote, and I guess Promising Young Woman wins both your votes.
I mean, I would see Minari, so
Yeah.
it could be either. Don't know.
Yeah,
I'll say Promising Young Woman. I'll root for it.
I mean, I give you that too. I'd say that's like the
Mhm.
second runner up, because I know Bad Education is really great as well. I highly recommend it. But like, and the screenplay is really good for that too. I'd say the ranking is Minari, Promising Young Woman, Bad Education, Never, Rarely, Sometimes, Always, and then half of it at the bottom. Sorry, the half of it. You're still good though.
There we go. You just had some really good competition.
Yeah. Best supporting female actress. We have Miss Juneteenth with Alexis Jaquez as Kai Jones.
Okay.
Minari with Han Ye-ri as Monica Yi. French Exit with Mallory Mahaffey as Madame Renaud. Never Really, Sometimes Always. We have Talia Ryder as Skylar. And Minari, we have Yoon Yu Jung as Sunja.
What's your pick,
I'm so
Kevin?
sorry if I butchered the pronunciation of names, but I swear I got as close as I could. So yeah, you guys didn't see any of these, but
No.
I will. So you're gonna have to take my word for it again.
Ooh.
Minari, Yoon Yu Jung as Sunja. She plays the grandmother in Minari. Best performance, it straight up in the movie,
Oh, wow.
and
Okay.
I think it's still the best performance out of all of these. I mean, Han Ye-ri, who plays the wife in Minari,
Yeah.
she's also really fantastic in the film as well. So it's really like a toss up between the two, and they're both well deserving of the nominations.
Cool.
Alexis from Miss Juneteenth is also really great as well,
Mhm.
and Talia Ryder's from Never Really, Sometimes Always is also great, especially for I think she's the youngest. No, sorry. No, Alexis is the youngest one. She plays the daughter in Miss Juneteenth, and she's
Okay.
pretty good in that too. So, and I haven't seen French Exit. It's not really available to watch anywhere. That one, the film has Michelle Pfeiffer in it.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I've seen a lot of good buzz around it. I just haven't been able to watch it. Best supporting male. We have Coleman Domingo, who played as Cutler in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom.
Mhm.
Orion Lee as King Lu from First Cow. Paul Raci as Joe from Sound of Metal. Glenn Turman as Toledo in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. And Benedict Wong as Kyo from 9 Days.
So here's our first discourse. I think I
Mhm.
disagree with you, Kevin. I think the man who plays Coleman Domingo as Cutler, I
Mm.
think is
Mhm.
probably a better, stronger option than Paul Raci. That's just my take.
Yeah, and and we talked about this before too, where it's
Yeah.
like I would be fine if it's one of the two.
Yeah,
Mhm.
fair enough.
Because I mean, obviously, Cutler the character has more material than Joe the character.
Yeah.
But I also think Paul Raci's performance, and this is also, I think, his first movie that he's been in, or at least had a bigger role in.
Mhm.
Whereas Coleman Domingo also has a lot more under his belt.
Yeah.
But Paul Raci really kind of ties the theme of the film together with his performance. And
Mhm.
Cutler and Coleman Domingo as Cutler is also a really engaging performance
Mhm.
as to bringing his character to life as well.
I think
So
I enjoyed Domingo's performance like as a foil to Chadwick Boseman's character Levy.
Oh
Mhm.
yeah,
Like watching them go back and forth about their conversation about God and Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. It was a lot more fun, not fun, but like more enjoyable to watch them go back and forth, like their
yeah.
points
You
of
have that
view.
nice energy between them two.
Yeah.
Between the two, that kind of keeps you invested, and that's like I said, I would be fine if it's either of those two.
Okay.
I think those two are definitely the best out of the ones here.
Cool.
Orion Lee from First Cow is also really good. Surprising, I just watched that this morning, and he really knocked it out of the park. He also, when I tweeted about First Cow, he liked my tweet, so there's that.
Nice.
Hey.
Gets more brownie points from me for that.
Next time, tweet it from Committed Critics so we get the.
I should have done that, but alas.
It's okay. It's okay.
So next, so you guys choosing Coleman Domingo from
Yep.
Mama Rainey's Black
I'll
Bottom.
go with-
I'm
I'll go with
choosing
Paul
Paul
Raci.
Raci from
Yeah.
Sound of Metal. So, either
like
one
Joe.
wins.
Fair enough.
Joe's
Yeah.
good.
Mhm.
So best female lead, we have Nicole Bahari from Miss Juneteenth, who plays Turquoise Jones. Viola Davis as Ma Rainey in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Sydney Flanagan as Autumn in Never, Rarely, Sometimes, Always.
Yep.
Julia Garner as Jane in The Assistants. Frances McDormand as Fern in Nomadland. And Carrie Mulligan as Cassandra Cassie Thomas in
God,
Promising
I
Young
love
Woman.
Viola Davis, but it has to go to Carey Mulligan.
Oh,
right?
for
Oh,
sure.
for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Viola Davis was great in Ma Rainey. She really one thing with Viola Davis is that I don't think I could ever recognize her if I were to come across her in the street. She
Fair.
always looks different in every movie.
Mhm.
Maybe I wasn't sure if it was just me.
No, I had to
Um,
double check too. I had to double check and be like, I'm pretty sure it's Viola Davis. I IMDb'd it, and it was.
Yeah, but Carrie Mulligan in Promising Young Woman gave it her all. This was her
Yes.
best performance in anything I've seen her in, including Doctor Who.
No, she's pretty good in Great Gatsby, Kevin.
She is great in Great Gatsby too. But this is even better.
Correct. All right, moving on.
Moving on. Best male lead. We have Riz Ahmed as Ruben Stone in Sound of Metal, Chadwick Boseman as Levy Green in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Adarsh Gurav as Ballroom Hawaii from The White Tiger,
Okay.
Rob Morgan as Abe from Bull, and Stephen Yin as Jacob Yi in Minari. I think we in agreement with Chadwick Boseman getting
Yes.
the best
Yes.
male lead?
100%. Yeah, 100%. I don't
Riz
think
Ahmed is fantastic.
his performance is strong. Don't get me wrong. Riz Ahmed has a strong performance.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I know you're not like, I didn't really find empathy for the character of Ruben, which we'll talk about
Okay.
later. Whereas like I just saw Chadwick Boseman, my heart cried. So I mean,
Yes.
yeah,
And also, this is the last year Chadwick Boseman is eligible for this award. So,
Right.
like, let's just give it to him.
right,
Yes.
exactly.
It's a really fantastic performance. It's his last time he could be eligible for that. Why not just let him win? I'm sorry, Riz Ahmed, you're great.
Yeah, I agree.
You could get a silver one.
There we go.
but the gold one goes to Chadwick Boseman. Come on. I think even he understands and would support that.
Yes.
Mhm.
Next one. We're almost done.
Best director, we have Minari, Promising Young Woman, Never Really, Sometimes Always, First Cow, and Nomadland. This one is kind of a toss up. So like
Mhm.
any one of them could win. My vote
Okay.
goes to Minari though.
I mean, I guess the only one we've seen is Promising a Woman. I am inclined to agree with you on Minari.
Mhm.
Is it Minari or Minari? I'm confused.
So so since it's Korean, you have to pronounce it's Korean word. It's pronounced Minari.
Minari.
So
Okay.
Minari.
Okay. Cool.
Okay.
Just to make sure so I didn't mispronounce it.
Yeah, no worries.
Promising a Woman is really good.
Oh yeah.
Just I didn't really feel like anything was like a direct, like the direction was like there obviously, like it
Mhm.
never like stood out to me, you know.
Mhm.
It definitely like there were some elements in Promising
Yeah.
Young Woman that felt incohesive.
Yeah, it was
Um,
more subtle and not like in your face, like wow, the director really chose to have this there.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, sometimes subtlety is best, but I do
Yeah.
agree with Promising Young Woman that it's like there's a lot of, for me, it's a lot of pacing issues and like a lot of
Right.
it's just like some yeah. Once again, it is the pacing issues that kind of help of break the story down a little bit.
Okay.
I do say the most emotionally charged moments of Promising Young Woman are still really fantastically
Yes.
directed.
Yes.
So, and then the director, it really is more focused on the emotional charge of the film and the
Right.
performances. So that's still very well deserving of the nomination. But I think Minari's direction is not significantly better, but it is, I say, the best one, and it's more of like, it is more topical, more of what we need right now.
I
Not
agree.
saying that Promising Young Woman isn't what we need right now, because that is
Mhm.
also very topical and very
Right.
Yes.
important film. But like, it's, well, like I said when naming off the nominations, this is kind of a toss up because Nomadland's direction is really great. Never Really, Sometimes Always, and First Cow, they also have really great direction. I do think the two top ones is between Minari and Promising Young Woman.
Okay.
Mhm.
Cool. All right. Last one, Kevin. What do you got?
Best Feature: First Cow, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Minari, Never Really, Sometimes Always, and Nomadland. Not Promising Young Woman, because that was snubbed for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know why.
That's an odd one.
I guess
Oh.
it was in best first feature, wasn't it, or no?
No.
Oh,
Nope.
never
This
mind.
is not her first feature.
Never mind. Okay.
Nope. Interesting.
Awkward.
Yeah, I don't know. I liked it better than First Cow. First Cow is really good, but I don't know. Promising Young Woman's better.
Fair enough.
But my vote out of these 5 is Minari.
Mhm.
Like I said, it's a really great topical film, and I think it's the most. Ma Rainey's Black Bottom does a fairly fantastic job, but it still feels like theater.
It
doesn't feel like a
definitely
film
stage
yet.
play.
Yeah.
Definitely a stage play.
Yeah, like it's not. It still hasn't broken into that medium to make it completely a film. I
Yeah.
know One Night in Miami apparently does this better. That you couldn't even tell that it was a play, but
Okay.
that's not one of the nominees. Unfortunately, it's winning winning one of the awards, I believe, like the Robert Altman Award.
Cool.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Yeah, it is winning the Robert Altman Award. So it is getting recognition and already like winning that award right there. Um, but yeah, I know you guys have only seen Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. But would you say that we call it best feature worthy?
I
No.
mean, I think we watched Minari, I probably would
Mhm.
have picked that one,
Mm-hmm.
given
Just
the
for Steven Yeun?
topicalness of it. Yeah, Steven
Yeah,
Yeun.
I liked Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, but I don't think it would be its best feature worthy.
Got it.
Because in my head, it's not
I
really a
agree.
feature. It's not. It's just kind of a stage play put onto the screen.
Yeah, I think
Mhm.
Promising Young Woman should have had the best feature
Yeah.
nomination over Ma Rainey's.
Well, maybe not over Ma Rainey, but definitely over
like,
First Cow.
Yeah.
First Cow, yeah.
I'm sorry, First Cow. I like the movie, but Promising Young Woman. Yeah, so that's our predictions, and we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we'll have a little discussion. Starting a podcast? Try a Podbean Unlimited hosting plan. It's what we use here at Committed Critics, giving us the opportunity to have our show on Pandora, iHeartRadio, and even Spotify. You can get your first month of unlimited hosting for free on us by going to podbean.com/committedcrits, just like our Twitter, or by clicking the link in the description. Podbean, the easiest, most affordable option to get started in podcasting. And welcome back to our Independent Spirit Awards prediction episode. So if you listen to the first half, we have our predictions there and set, ready to go. And so hopefully we're right. We'll find out. But now we want to have
hopefully
a
we
little bit
think
of
Kevin
discuss-
will be right.
Yeah, hopefully Kevin's right.
Well, I mean, you guys can be right too. It's fine. I'm not mad.
I love how this isn't a competition at all.
Be interesting if we all end up being right.
Oh.
How would
I
that be
mean,
possible?
I did win the March Madness college bracket tournament in Zach's family's group and my own family, and that was off of intuition. So you
That's
never know.
amazing.
Yeah.
I tried.
It really is.
But now we want to talk about talk more about some of the movies that you guys have all seen.
Yeah.
Specifically Sound of Metal and Promising Young Woman. And I'm just going to let you guys have your own little discussion about what you guys want to talk about.
So for me, I think Promising a Woman for me is a lot stronger of a film than Sound of Metal.
Mhm.
Might be controversial, I know. Sound of Metal is a very well put together film. There are a lot of elements I enjoy. The sound design is impeccable.
Oh, it's amazing.
Amazing. There are just some elements I don't agree with. Like, I get the whole theme of the film is it's a metaphor for coping with addiction and stuff like that, having to battle addiction.
Mhm.
Just the way it's framed with his like vice, quote unquote, being deaf, that's where I kind of like my head kind of draws a question mark, because I don't know, I just feel like the deafness shouldn't be equated to an addiction kind of thing in my head.
Well, it's not deaf being the addiction; it's being able to hear. Being
Right,
the
yeah,
addiction.
being able to hear. But like for me, I don't know, I just think you can separate those two and have two very, very strong movies on their own.
Mhm.
A man struggling to not overcome, but to accept his new way of life of having to accept being deaf versus coming from addiction and having to battle addiction. Two very strong different things. I know they work well together in some aspects. Like, I know, Kevin, you enjoy it. I know there's a lot of people out there who have, like, it's nominated for Academy Awards. A lot of people enjoy it. I'm probably the minority on this one. But I don't know. It was very strange. The performances are great,
Mhm.
but there's just something about seeing a character smoke a cigarette for a good 30 minutes of the movie where I'm like, okay, I feel like I'm still in film school and all of our edgy friends are writing characters that smoke all the time.
Mhm.
Besides that, like, very strong film. The theme is there. Sound design's impeccable. Yeah, great. Promising a Woman, though, I just fell in love with it. Very good. The screenplay is there. Like we've said earlier, a lot of shaky pacing issues in the beginning.
Mhm.
But once it hits, and you're kind of sucked in. I definitely think it would win a best screenplay over the half of it. I don't really know because I never saw the half of it, but that's just my intuition, my guess. Palm Springs, I still think gets the best first screenplay.
Mhm.
But yeah, and again, Carey Mulligan definitely deserves the best female lead, 100%.
For sure.
Jordan?
Okay.
What about you, Jordan?
So, coming from as a sound engineer and working with sound and spending 4 years of my college career learning about sound, Sound of Metal was awesome. The way that the sound design, like we said before, is just amazing. And it's something that I can really appreciate because I also know the amount of effort that is put into something like that. And I guess, like, I can understand where both of you come from with this. I would say that, I don't know, I wish there was more of a development of a relationship with Ruben and his deafness, as well as his relationship with the kid that he was helping with. Like, I honestly thought that Ruben was going to stay and then help teach the kid how to actually play the drums and learn about the rhythms and figure out like how to actually play by feeling the rhythms instead of listening to the guitars or singing and things like that. And I thought that's the direction it was going to go, and maybe he was going to end up with the teacher. I had no idea. But so the way that it ended, I was a little surprised by that, and not disappointed, but just more of like oh, okay, like I guess that's a way to do it too. But I still think it was a good movie. I think it was a little slow, especially in the beginning, and I also wish that the way that his deafness kind of took over, I wish it was a little more gradual instead of just all of a sudden. Like maybe it was more of not really a tinnitus thing, but you know, you hear those high pitched things and then that comes like in and out, and then all of a sudden it doesn't go away.
When Kevin and I first talked about this film, it was more of like, oh, the sound design is really cool. Like when he's deaf, he's deaf. I'm like, oh, okay, so we watch the subtitles are baked into the film. And so when the deafness part happened, we're like, oh, he's already deaf. I thought it was more of, like you said, a gradual thing. Like you slowly hear his hearing disappear in his ear, but it just happens like this. It's basically the inciting incident in the film. We're like, oh, wow.
Well, I mean, that's just how it is for some people. It's not always a slow development. Most of the time, it is like a sudden thing. Like your hearing is just suddenly gone one day.
So like that,
it blows out.
Yeah. So, but overall, so I think it was a really good film.
And I think learning about that, like I said, Kevin, like some people, they do just lose it all of a sudden. It was learning that aspect of it, and learning that like when they get the little what's it called? Not implants? The colloquial implants. It doesn't sound like real hearing. It's all electrics and like tinny. That was what blew my mind. I'm like, oh wow, it doesn't sound like talking at all.
Yeah.
It sounds very like
metallic
and like robotic. That blew my mind.
Kind of funny that he was a metal drummer and now he listens in metallic.
To the sound of metal.
Yeah.
Roll credits.
But so Promising Young Woman, I really, really loved. I call myself an intersectional feminist, and this definitely plays into that for sure. And I loved seeing women empowerment, and I love seeing kind of a woman fighting back. I did have a couple little qualms with it. The first one is that our friend Maggie, she sent us her copy of it, and there wasn't a trigger warning in the beginning, and I wish there was, because as a sexual assault victim and survivor, the beginning part where Cassie's like, "What are you doing?" and the guy's like, "Shh, it's okay." That I got very triggered. Yeah, because that happened to me.
Like I had no idea what the movie was about before I turned it on. So when that scene was happening, I'm like, okay.
Yeah. So it was just like, and then once she flipped the switch and she actually showed that she was sober and stuff, I was like, oh crap, here we go. Like let's go. The ending was not what I was expecting whatsoever. I wish she didn't die, but I understand why she had to die. Spoiler alert, sorry, but oh
yeah, that's a harsh spoiler.
Yeah. I just wish she didn't, because I was like, why does the main character have to die? Like, why can't she just continue with this idea of it? But then, Zach explained, like Zach talked to me about it, and the more I thought about it, I was like, okay, it does kind of make sense why she had to go. So then, because it also plays into a topic where a guy can be put away for murder, but he probably won't be put in jail for sexual assault or rape. So like, which actually shows something in our society and something that's really messed up right now. So that I can appreciate it from a, logical perspective or something like that. But I don't know. I wish she didn't die. I wish she just would have like moved somewhere or something and then continued her her trials, because I loved all the different plans. I loved how she like really showed the other people like, hey, this can happen. Like, just because you ignored it doesn't mean that it still doesn't happen to other people, and it could happen to you. And I really liked that, and I liked how it showed other people too, because like even viewers who would probably were watching this movie would be like, oh crap, like that actually could happen.
God, when she was cornering Connie Nelson, like the principal,
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, are we really going that dark here? And then she's like, oh, no, not. I'm like, oh, thank God.
And I also thought Bo Burnham did a really good job too. Like, I've only seen him in his comedy specials, so actually to see him acting and things, I thought was really interesting. And I thought it was a good segue for him, and I thought he did a really good job. But yeah, I still think it was an amazing movie. Again, a little slow in the beginning, but other than that, I really enjoyed it.
Oh yeah, Bo Burnham is actually a pretty good actor. He's played some small roles. I think this is one of his bigger roles. He's in also The Big Sick, which is also on Amazon Prime.
Okay.
He plays a small role there, but his performance is pretty good.
He also had his own film. Was it like 8th grade?
8th grade.
Oh, 8th grade. Yeah, he wrote and directed that one.
Yeah.
That was also pretty good. Not great. He has problems, but still a pretty good movie.
Fair.
I love the promotional material for 8th grade, where it's like, you can't watch it because it's rated R, but here's a special day for 8th graders to go watch it. Man. So yeah, that's the Independent Spirit Awards. We will let you know in our description and on Twitter where you can watch it. Right now, it is only saying that it will be premiering on the IFC channel. However, there's no announcement yet of if it's going to be streaming on Twitter and YouTube like it did last year.
Right.
This usually isn't announced until the day of. So once we have that information, we will give that out to you.
Cool.
This
Kevin,
has been.
Wait, Kevin. You did reviews for these films. Where can people find them on?
Ooh.
Oh yeah, you can follow my reviews on letterboxd.com. That is LETTERBOXD. No E in there. So
edgy.
my name, yeah, exactly.
Independent.
My username on there is K to the Lau, so KATOTHELAU. You can follow me on Twitter at authorklau, it's AUTHORKLAU. So get a link to that as well. Or you can just tweet us at Committed Crits, that is COMMITTED CRITS. Be like, hey, where's Kevin's reviews are at? And we can be like, oh, it's right here. And be like, cool, thanks. I'm never going to read them. Be like, okay. Bye. You can also follow us on YouTube. That is at Committed Critics, spelled the same there as it is here and everywhere else. You can support us on Patreon. Just $1 a month is super helpful. And special thanks to Zach, who edits the episodes, and Jordan Smearman for being our sound engineer.
Yay!
Both of you guys are awesome.
Thank you.
Power couple.
We try.
And we will see you in the next episode this Sunday when we talk about Oscar predictions. Ooh.
Oh.
Goodbye.
See ya.
Bye.